crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
The penetrator. Come on, look, because I always went the farthest into the target, goddammit. Libya, Tunisia, Lebanon. It was me, pal. I was always first in, last out.
This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to. But it's vulnerable out in the open.
Its blood was on the leaves.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Project Story Time! The man, the myth, the legend, Andy Masterson! Water Bottles United Mary's Game Room! He's the angriest wrench in Valhalla, Mark the Eppley Time! Henry Gamble! Sandwich Worthington! What is a Chronos? I don't know, somebody tell me! Project Cambrian! The Wrench of Wrenches, Chris Persia! Jester of Sin! Great googly moogly, it's positive Gandar! Show back DJC! Mephisto's movie reviews! Screw daylight savings time! James Dasher! Gunbuddy, Psychodorpnon, and Shockwave! Fabian Whiskers! I hate missing my train, I mean losing an hour! Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Zero Hour here on Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, everybody. Zero is here. Loki is here. We're going to break some shit down for you. Matt Cave Gaming. What is up? Rock and roll. Yes. What is up? Grumpy old Marine Bet over on Rumble. How are you doing, Dean? Good to see you. What is up, the lady? Arwen Avalon. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Butterflies and unicorns and rainbow sherbet. Oh, my God. It's Loki and Zero.
Did you say butter thighs?
Oh. Crazy bastard. Oh, my God.
All right. I thought you said butterflies, but it sounded like butter thighs. I'm thinking, shit, what are we getting prepped up for this morning? Woo!
You hush.
Don't give me that
quiet
face.
now.
Don't give me that face. All right, I'm out.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good one. Oh, my God, Zero. Right? We both go for the coffee and
yeah. My next breath wasn't a breath, it was a drink. I'm
having coffee this morning. Sue me.
Yeah.
Butter thighs, nom nom.
Nom 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 nom. Yeah, that's great. All right. 5 minutes in, we're already off the rails. Hell yeah. Good morning. Good morning to everybody.
God help us all.
Whew.
We got 40 people watching here. We got 7 over on X. 33 over on YouTube's, and 3 people over on Rumble. God help us all.
Right.
That
Well,
does not add up to 40. I don't know why it's stupid.
who knows? It's tea. When we're drinking tea. Coffee was throughout the night, so it's tea hour here on Zero Hour.
We're all proud of him for that. Absolutely.
I wouldn't say I have a dirty mind. It's probably just a horrible juvenile act of
Canadian bacon, maple syrup, crewman covered, report issued.
all right. Roll through that again. Canadian bacon,
maple syrup, crewman reported issue. Oh, you don't remember? Of course you don't. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I got it.
Yeah. Now he's like, oh,
man,
yeah.
Okay. All right. That was what, a long time ago. I had already done what, 8 months of active duty before you and that other guy pulled me aside to say, we have a problem here. You dirty Canadian son of a bitch. What you do in the captain's quarters is up to you unless it goes live on the AI computer. Don't treat it like Quark's holodeck.
And he didn't even know he was getting punked until I was like, and then I told them, I pulled out the dolly and I was like, show us where Zero touched.
I tell you, man.
Oh my God. We had to.
That dolly got more action than a hooker did on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras. I tell you.
June Wong, who's been a member for 19 months, says time zone finally caught up. Now I'm only half asleep. Well, I'm up early. I know when I wake up and it's still dark outside, I'm like, stupid time change.
I know. You can see through my not blackout curtains that the sun is currently reflecting off of everything out there, including the snow that we got again yesterday. So happy spring break, everybody. Let's go make a snowman.
Loki, as far as we know, Zero has never once had maple syrup covered nips. Looking at Mark.
I tell you, man, it's bad. It's bad. Unless you're prepared, and don't ask me how I know this, unless you're prepared to shower immediately after said activities. If you got chest hair, maple syrup is just gonna wreck your day.
Oh my God.
I love how that was followed by
joke.
silence.
I think we found a polyp. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mahogany Drops with $5 super check. Good morning, brothers. You just sent the February batches out yesterday. I got it, dude. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's awesome.
Guys, if you are not a member over on Mahogany Draws' channel, he has one of the best memberships you're going to find on YouTube. Blows us away completely. We've got some stuff and we do some giveaways and stupid shit like that. Mahogany brings the epping house down.
Damn.
Mahogany brings the memberships. But Loki, isn't that like competition now? Mahogany's my brother and goes above and beyond for the members on his channel.
That's awesome.
One of the most hardworking creators I know. What he does in the background, behind the scenes, is absolutely fantastic. So make sure you guys are subscribed over there and check out his memberships. You guys get batches of artwork every single month. So check that out and do it. Thank you so much, brother, for your $5 super chat. This one is just for you. I think we're gonna start things off properly here.
Properly? Wow. Prim and proper, you might say.
Since we're talking about Gojira. So let's bring some facts. Fact one, Godzilla Minus One won Best VFX at the Oscars that nobody watches.
Yeah, the members of the Academy. Yeah, throw one in chat if you knew of the Oscars and or watched them. 0 if you didn't know, like myself. I had no idea they were on.
So yeah, I knew they were on. I knew they were coming. I didn't watch it because I just don't give a fuck. I don't need to see John Cena naked on stage. I really don't. The guy's got like a humiliation fetish. If he's not in like a schoolgirl skirt and top, he's naked at the Oscars. I don't really get it.
That's
maybe he thinks it's funny. I don't know.
That's weird. That's weird. I mean, great physique, and after watching him do that wrestling thing for 20 years now. I mean, if you've seen him in his pair of jorts and nothing else, that's one thing. But naked John Cena, no thanks.
So I mean, everybody pretty much knew what was going on. They just, I mean, I'm not gonna watch that shit. So I'm like looking, I'm watching. Oppenheimer won like 7 Academy Awards. They swept that shit. They just, people were like, "Oh my God, Barbie didn't," and I'm like,
"Oh good God."
Who cares?
You had to know that was going to get thrown in there somehow, whether it was going to win anything or not.
But it didn't. It didn't win shit. So good for that. Good for Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer kicked the shit out of. But then this Godzilla movie comes in and wins Best Visual Effects and absolutely humiliates modern day Hollywood. How does it do that, Loki? Because for 8 months, 35 people in Japan worked on the visual effects for Godzilla Minus One. Now you might think, Loki, that's a lot of time, and that's a lot of people. No. Modern day Disney, ILM, companies like that, they have hundreds of VFX artists that work around the clock for a year, if not more, to come out with some of these movies and do what they did. And it doesn't even look as good.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, geez, you think back to ILM back when they were starting to hit that peak there. And they were doing that little film called Jurassic Park, 31 years ago. And their team was a lot smaller back then. But I mean, they crunched down and they got it done. Everything, they were kind of figuring out how to optimize CGI at the time. But there was a crap ton of practical effects in there too. And that team was a lot smaller. Granted, they worked on the film for a long time, but the team was a lot smaller and it was a lot more hands-on. So the creativity was on full display at that point. So how ironic that 30 years later, we come across the same kind of scenario where a little tiny team is actually, putting boots to asses and hammering out some shit that actually looks good.
Keely Chow says, I heard Oppenheimer left audiences dead in Japan.
Like silent dead, or just they didn't care?
No. Oppenheimer is about the atomic bombs that were dropped on Japan.
Yeah.
World War II. I heard Oppenheimer bombed Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very funny, Keely. Roll Tide. We love you.
Yeah.
Also keep in mind, those effects artists minus one are paid less and treated worse than any Hollywood effects artist. Actually, they're not treated worse. They're treated better. They had an in-house chef, a sushi chef, fry chef. They had all kinds of perks that they don't normally get in Hollywood. Now, as far as pay goes, you are absolutely right. As far as treatment goes, no. These guys are laser focused on their craft and know what they're doing. They know that it's up to them to make these shots. And without those shots, the movie cannot exist. Now, as far as pay goes, you are absolutely right. As far as dedication and talent and desire and treatment goes, Toho had them their own like in-house chef while they were doing this. They literally had a chef on call that was there in the studio that would do whatever they want whenever they want it. I think the treatment thing is kind of mixed up with like, you know, maybe the talent and the credit. Maybe they don't get the, you know, attaboy. But you know what? I'd rather come out with a product that people are like, oh my God, and get that an attaboy from Toho or the studio that I'm working for. I would rather get that from the fans. I'd rather get that from the people that love the film than from the studio, because you can get that from the studio all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they can be attaboying you all the time. You could be, your work could absolutely be sucking Marvel. Oh,
God, what was that? What was that?
You could be spending billions of dollars. Disney. Oh, excuse me.
God, there's some type of bug going around. I don't know what's causing that.
And get all the attaboys from the studio and company you want. Whereas people are looking at it going, this sucks. This looks fake as shit. Or Godzilla looked badass. I'd much rather have that from the fans. People saying, oh my God, that was absolutely stunning compared to Disney or Marvel. Give me a pat on the back.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy time. Man.
Toho has been making films of quality for everything they make with small, intimate crews from their start. It's absolutely positively correct. And they love what they make. Hollywood has had bloat going back to Cecil D. DeMille. Yes. Yeah, I need antihistamine. I really do.
Punkwald is wondering if you're allergic to some type of rodent or feces, or maybe both.
Maybe both.
There's a lot of that going around.
There's a certain mouse that I'm probably allergic to, because I don't watch anything they make anymore. I don't know. I just don't care. Do any of y'all care that they're not going to do, like, I mean, apparently they're not doing a season 2 of Kenobi that's not Kenobi. They're not, I mean, people are like, oh my God, the Bad Batch. I don't fucking care. I don't care.
Yeah,
I really don't. They're like, oh my God, the next Marvel, they're going to course correct. They're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. I don't care. I don't think Robbie's going to come back. I think maybe you'll get a voice, if that, in a multiverse clip. You're going to get, you know.
How do you course correct when your pathfinding technology is broken and you're literally just drifting way out there in space?
Oh, Squeaker, not you.
Speak of the devil. Somebody get the mousetrap.
There are some that are acceptable. The three-horned rat from Disney is not.
I wanna ask about, because I mean, obviously you love Godzilla Minus One, and
not just Godzilla Minus One, almost all Godzilla, except for that fucking 90s 2000 whatever
the We Can Make a Jurassic Park as well movie kind of thing.
Gojira. It's Gojira, you moron. Shut up, bitch. You didn't even know until that old man said something.
That's a lot of fish.
I'm a Godzilla connoisseur. It's Gojira. It's Gojira. And I'm like, shut up. You didn't even know.
Jesus. Somebody triggered something. That's a lot of fish. No, that's just the smell of New York, my dear. So I wanted to ask you, because I mean, the point about the treatment about the Godzilla Minus One crew not getting paid as well, but they had a lot of amenities. Yeah, I can speak of the good Anglaise. They had a lot of perks and treatment that worked for them, like, you know, an on-site chef and things like that. So do you think the pay grade was lowered to fit the budget they had, since it was kind of a smaller crew and a small, you know, borderline indie film going on there? It's like, well, if we provide you with these qualities of life, would you be willing to work for less money because our budget is only, you know,
And that's exactly what they did. That is exactly what Toho did. Toho was like, we will do these perks because this is the budget. Will you accept? And they all 24 hour sous chef. Okay, 24 hour sous chef. All right, we'll do it. Hell yeah, man. That's how movies need to be made.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you like work it out. Okay. All right. We want our own pizza oven and unlimited pizza supplies for the duration of the work we are going to do. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, we can do that. And you do it. And you do it because you want to do it and you love doing it.
Passion projects to a T right there.
And they want to make the best movie they can make. That's the difference. Is they're not having everything thrown at them constantly. Okay? Everything that's going on in Hollyweird, they're getting everything thrown at them constantly. So they're like, more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. Well, eventually, you can ask for all the money in the world, but because you've got 50 projects in a year and no time to work on them, something's got to give. Well, what gives is quality.
Yeah. There's always a compromise when it comes to things like that. Passion projects. That's a very key phrase that we're looking at here, you know.
The perks on an Alec Baldwin film are if you survive. That's a perk.
But
walking off the set after your day is over and not being ambulanced out.
Arriving to the set and leaving the set with the same amount of bodily holes you started with is a big plus. That's huge.
Mr. Baldwin calling the Life Flight helicopter instead of a Hearst is a perk.
Oh, God. Oh, all aboard. The meme train is afire this morning.
That's a perk.
Wow.
So,
you think he fired off that gun, saw what happened, and then said, "Hey, nice fucking model."
I used to watch the Oscars years ago, but it really lost its luster when quality entertainment went down. I think that's what happened to everybody. No one gives a shit anymore. Yeah. This is like, oh, well, we're ready for a close-up because we're snobby aristocratic bullshitters that say we're better than you are. You know what's funny? You know what's really funny? All these anti-gun people, right? They're like anti-Second Amendment. We need to take people's rights away. We need to take this stuff away from you guys. And then you see them out on like attack range, and they're not training for a film. They just go out there because they want to have fun, and they're like getting ready for the apocalypse. Like I've got all my weapons in my bunker and blah 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 blah, right? But they're like, you can't have this stuff. That's Hollywood in a nutshell. You can't have this because you're not one of us. It's the same thing with the Oscars. You can't have this and you're not going to get it because you're not one of us. And once you start division like that, you start dividing people like that, and you're like, this isn't for you. I don't need the opinion of a 40-something-year-old man that can never get into my pants anyway. Then all of this division is why we have a problem and why nobody wants to watch any of this shit. I don't care.
I mean, if that's the case, I would say, well, you are more than welcome to go and broadcast again from some fucking train station if that's more your fancy. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but the last time I watched the Academy Awards with intent was probably back in 2006. And the only reason I remember that is because the next night, my buddies and I went out to a Nine Inch Nails concert. That's the only reason why I remember that. Any other year, any other award, any other whatsoever, I don't got no loads of whale shit to give to him, especially now. I mean, holy crap.
There goes Hollywood. Oh, Godzilla.
All right.
Yeah. Right.
Now I know it was just one award. We all know Oppenheimer swept. And I know Godzilla only won.
Oh, it doesn't matter, dude. Okay, we're not even talking about a production budget. Okay, so for the whole movie, $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
That is less than most movies pay for VFX.
Yeah. And my point is, when you single out what award it won, best visual effects, if the whole budget for the movie was $15 million, you shrink that down probably considerably to, or, who knows, but you shrink that down somewhat to the actual visual effects budget. And the fact that they actually got recognized. Yeah, exactly. So the fact that they actually got recognized and awarded for taking that minuscule fraction, I mean, $15 million. That's peanuts. That's peanuts compared to what big budget movies will spend on promotional material this day and age.
That's right.
So you think that they take their chump change and they get recognized and awarded for it? Good God. I mean, somebody out there is doing something wrong while all these guys making their monster movie are doing something right.
Arwen's got me thinking Blue Oyster Cult now.
Oh, good.
Oh, there goes Tokyo. Oh, Godzilla. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
A bigger box office cut, right? Mm-hmm. You should have asked for a bigger cut. And you notice they all had like one guy had Godzilla, another guy had King Ghidorah. They all had like Godzilla toys. They were sitting at the Oscars with Godzilla toys. And there's an interview that they did last night after the Oscars, where they are talking to Yamazaki, and he's like, "Oh, I see Steven Spielberg, and I sneak over because I do not know what his security's like." Right, so he sneaks over.
He's got a T-Rex and a shark.
And he's got the Godzilla. He's got the Godzilla like action figure, and he's like, and he said, "Steven sees Godzilla and knows who I am," and he's like, "Come." Right? So he goes over there and he's talking to him, and he's like, I have the Godzilla, so I give it to Steven. I give the Godzilla to Steven because he inspired me. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I love this guy. I absolutely love this guy. He has no idea what's going on in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And I just lost almost all my chat. I have no idea what's going on.
Looks like Mr. Miyagi was taken over.
Domo gato, wow. Mr. Roboto. Wow. I've just got a whole bunch of blank with grumpy old Marine Vet Zeros. I don't know. They're at the bottom. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, goodness.
Pungwater with $2 super chat. Pudgy light fire, Valhalla. Eek! We're extinguisher. Light the fires, Pudgy, and burn the whole village to the ground. This one's just for you. Skull! The little hedgehog that could, Pudgy. Guys, if you are not subscribed to Pudgy and his adventures, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you've been, but get your butts over there and find out what Pudgy's doing. Catapult Pudgy. Pudgy goes into action Monday through Friday. Absolutely great. Great Pudgy. Pudgy's cool. So check him out. I did nothing wrong. Someone give me the name of a cheap lawyer and a corrupt judge, right? Right.
Oh, you can find those anywhere.
We all need that. We put out the fire with our breath. Yeah.
Well, all right.
All right. Thank you for your super chat, Pudgy.
Awesome.
I'm just, you know what? I'm a longtime Godzilla fan. Huge Godzilla fan. I've got every movie. I've got even some of the stuff that you don't think still exists. I've got DVDs because, man,
DVD. What are those?
What are those? Right. Well, okay. Here's the deal.
How many VHS do you have? Godzilla VHS.
I've got a couple.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a couple. There's a couple of VHS Godzilla stuff that I have, but the big thing is the American versions of these films have been erased. You can no longer get the American versions. What does that mean, Loki? That means like Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. It's not called that anymore because, you changed the name and they took out a lot of the funny stuff they did with like the drunk mariners and all kinds of stuff. Okay. So a lot of the humor that was there in our version is gone. Why did they do that? Because some F-nut idiot was like, they disgraced the Japanese by no, we didn't. No, we didn't. It's a product of its time. Get over yourself. A lot of us like the music that they put in there. A lot of us like the way they talked. It was funny. There were funny things. Oh, it's racial, man. You're just discriminatory, man. No, we're not. No, we're not. We grew up watching those movies. We love those movies. We honor those movies. Okay. You might be like a 20-year-old something and be like, there's no reason for it, man. But yes, there is, because we grew up watching them. It's the version of the movies we like. Okay. So go F yourself, get over yourself. The fact that we enjoy this. So now it's like, there's like an underground movement of how do we keep these restorations but have it in the old way? Well, some people are doing some really interesting stuff, kind of like what you've got with the OG original Star Wars trilogy. So what we want is we want the cleaned up picture, but we want the audio and the order it was in the original. So people are taking like the Criterion collection for the original movies. They're cutting it. They're rearranging shit and they're putting in the original audio. The problem with that is getting it, like, it's illegal as shit. So how are you going to do that? Well, pop it on a DVD, send it to somebody, pop it on a Blu-ray, send it to somebody. I've thought about doing some stuff myself. The best I'm going to get is Blu-ray quality. There ain't no 4K in it. So I can do the 1080p. That's easy enough. It's just making sure everything's cut up right and the audio is where it's supposed to be and getting everything synced. There are people out there working on it.
Sounds like more passion projects.
Sounds like more passion projects.
They're all over the place.
We want that original story, man.
Yeah.
We want that. That's what we saw. That's what we grew up on. There's some, like, I go back and I watch Godzilla versus Gigan, and I'm like, what the hell is this movie? And why is it like this? Because I don't remember it being like this. I remember these changes. I remember this stuff. And it's because
changes.
They decided to go back and completely screw with the movie. So it's been de-Americanized. Yeah, it's been un-Americanized, de-Americanized, whatever. And you don't even get like the original voice acting. All that's gone. All of it's gone. Yeah. So all the work that got put into it,
and it's tough when you grow up with that stuff too. Because I mean, when you have a, for lack of a better term, everybody says, "Oh, that was my childhood. That was, So rose-tinted glasses aside, when that's the foundation that you grew up on, even if everything else is great, when it's missing that originality that you had way back when, it always kind of feels like it misses a step. Like it can be good, but it's never as good. So it's kind of like a bittersweet thing. You could say, oh, well, still a feel good movie or whatever, I still feel this kind of way about it, but I still feel yet there is a void, so yeah.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Nobody wants to hear me sing first thing in the morning. It's like me in the shower. No.
I'll have a go at it.
Critters.
No, I don't mean singing. I mean, just I'll have a go at hearing you sing in the morning. Go for it.
No.
All right, I tried. I'm sorry, chat. I tried.
I mean, it's wrong. Just because it's wrong doesn't mean it's illegal. For those of us that love the original American versions, that's what we saw, that's what we grew up with, that's what we want. And when we order something like the Criterion Collection, all of that should be there. No, the best you're going to get is new. There's a couple of the movies that are dubbed, but they're dubbed today. So you've got the voice acting that's being dubbed now. That's not offensive to anybody. And I'm just like, you know what? Just because you got like, oh, Sakitae, oh, Saki, oh, Godzilla. Just because you got like a drunk Japanese guy doesn't mean that you are demeaning the Japanese people. I am sure that if Godzilla attacked today, you're going to have a drunk Japanese guy coming out of a sushi bar that's drunk on sake like, oh, she's Godzilla. I'm sure you will.
I told you so. We didn't listen.
I told you that some bitch coming. I'm
now we all dead. It's fried rice, you plick.
So this is apparently, terrible and horrible to do. And people are so fucking sensitive. That's the problem. Because people are too goddamn sensitive. Remember, Loki, you can only watch the old Monty Python Flying Circus shows because Terry Jones bought the original reels from the BBC. They used to erase them or retape on
them. Oh, there's your Picard facepalm moment of the day. There it is.
Can you imagine that? Because they don't care. Oh, we're gonna just retape over it. Just retape over it. We don't have any more tapes, sir. Well, just do the thing any proper British soldier would do in the Royal Navy. Tape over it.
Why don't you just tape over it? And then no one will be any wiser. They will like what we tell them to like. It doesn't really matter anymore. As they used to say in that show, and now for something completely different. There you go. We've taped something over it. Have at it all. Enjoy.
I did see the one with Walter White in it. It's okay.
It's all
King of
right.
Monsters is a much better throwdown movie because you only see Godzilla you see very little. There's a lot of buildup and a lot of like, oh, we're gonna tease you because it's Godzilla. We're gonna tease you,
Yeah.
And
the issues I had with that one comparatively to the second one, because when King of Monsters came out, everybody was thinking, well, finally we get to see Godzilla kicking some ass in frame. The issues I had with the first one, well, I thought it was well done. Bryan Cranston was cut out far too early. I felt that the other
whatever they paid him, it's like, oh, time's up, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, gotta go. I thought the other, I guess the main character of the film was, I don't know, forgettable at best.
Does anybody even remember his name?
Nope.
Does anybody remember his name in the movie? Does anybody know what actor it was off the top of your head?
No. Someone's gonna have to Google it because I don't know. But I mean,
we all know Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Bryan Cranston or call him Walter White. Either one is acceptable.
Yeah. I even said Bryan Cranston. I didn't say Walter White. Say his name, Candyman. Don't get me started on that one. Tony Todd is Candyman. There is nobody else. The other issue I had was
Andy knows. Aaron Johnson.
Thank you. Still have no idea. But the other issue I had was there was more. Sorry, who was the villain monster in that one? Was that Mothra?
The Mutos. No, it was the Mutos.
Sorry.
The giant cockroach looking mother.
Yeah. So I felt there was more mystery to the buildup of that than there was with Godzilla. It's like, oh, Godzilla just kind of comes in and saves the day, and then wham bam, movie's over. It's like, and I'm sitting there watching it like, hitting the rewind button like, did I just fucking miss something here? Like, What happened? It's like the world already knows Godzilla existed. He comes in, kicks the shit out of this thing, and then he just fucks off, goes back home, and that's it. It's like, where's the fighting? Where's the destruction? Where's all of that? Why am I watching this boring guy chase a fucking child around? So, where's his parents? Where's his parents? Who fucking cares? Put him down.
And you start to wonder, is Godzilla even going to use the atomic breath? Because they completely took that out of the 90s one. The Gojira. It's Gojira, you moron. Shut up, bitch. You didn't even know. Get out of here, generic blonde girl.
Yeah.
No one remembers you, and no one liked you.
No one remembers you, so it doesn't matter what your name is. So yeah. So I mean, the 2014 Bryan Cranston Godzilla was enjoyable, but I felt it was missing a lot considering the promotional buildup that film was receiving. But King of Monsters did a little bit better for sure. We need a Godzilla Voltron Vehicle Force crossover movie next. Oh my god. Hire the entire Fast and Furious. Oh my god, I think we might be able to finally see something that Vin Diesel can't beat up.
We're not just lions, we're family. Go Lions! Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
God, that was crazy. Mephisto says the best part of the 98 Godzilla movie was the Puff Daddy and Jimmy Page collab. Man, I remember when that song broke out. It was all over the place. Like, you got friggin' Jimmy Page actually playing this shit again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when this, didn't they actually perform that on Saturday Night Live at some point? I don't remember.
I think so.
But yeah, it was a unique collab. I'll give it that.
It was the promotional stuff. Yeah, because everybody wanted to see the damn thing. And then everybody was like, there's some people that like it. If you like it, I'm not going to bust your balls because it's Godzilla. So at least it's Godzilla. Mm-hmm. Oh, hell yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
The only acceptable part of the 98 Shitzilla was a Taco Bell commercials. That and like how many cast members of The Simpsons did they have in that movie too? Like, holy shit.
Okay, explain something to me. For the old Godzilla, for that movie, right? You've got a song that was in the movie, right? Okay, because movies have soundtracks. Huge fucking revelation, right? One of the rap songs in that, this motherfucker's wearing like this giant talisman, right?
Yeah,
and he does this like Michael Jackson shit, right? Godzilla's there, like looking down at him, and he's like, "Oh!" And this beam comes out of his fucking talisman, and Godzilla uses his breath in the music video. Godzilla's like, "Rah!" and it's like talisman beam versus breath. And I'm like, where the fuck was this in the movie?
No shit, right?
Why did we not get heat beam breath in the movie, but we're getting it in this fucking rap video?
Yeah. And
this is what's wrong with Hollywood today. And that was back in the 90s.
Yeah. And instead you get some guy with Flava Flav bling doing his Care Bear stare against a guy, I mean, holy crap. That was something.
And that's what it was. It was like a Care Bear stare beam.
And it was so bad because that just totally singled out the missed opportunity that could have came out before that. Yeah.
Ferris
Bueller. Matthew Broderick.
See,
I even know his name, but of course, obviously, Matthew Broderick's been in better stuff than the other generic white guy that was in
the worm guy. Godzilla. You're the worm guy? Yeah, I'm the worm guy. It's Tatopolis.
Yeah. Worm guy, totally perfect specialist to look after a giant radioactive lizard, eh? Oops, I just went Canadian.
Yes.
But I still say, and I know I can't be the only one, but I still say, in my opinion, the only reason that movie got made is because Jurassic Park got done and they wanted to do something somewhat similar. And
then
the only other giant creature they could get that everybody is going to know is Godzilla.
And that right there, even back then, should tell you what Hollywood thinks about this. Okay? Any fan of Godzilla knows that the heat breath and the heat beam, you got to have it. You have to. What's the one movie you didn't have it? It's Tatopolis. You're the worm guy. The worm guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a giant iguana. It's so bad that they bring him back in Godzilla Final Wars, and Godzilla hits him with his tail. He flies into the opera house in Australia and dies. Yeah. And the alien that brought him there is like, son of a bitch, I should have known that tuna-eating bastard wasn't going to do nothing. I should have known.
We didn't listen. Fried rice.
Fried rice.
Sorry, that was
tuna-eating fathead. I think that's what he calls him. Tuna-eating fathead. Wasn't going to do nothing. Wasn't going to do nothing. He knew better. Boosh.
Yeah.
Has become a warrior of Midgar. Welcome back to the Viking Horde, brother. Thank you so very much. You members, keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. This one is just for you, brother. Welcome back to the Viking Horde. Skull! I can't wait until my spear gets here.
That's a lot of horses. Helmet. Oh man, are you gonna cosplay for us live on Zero Hour?
I don't know. I might sit here with my Rohirrim spear. I've got Theoden's sword. Exactly. I'm gonna have Faemir's helmet. Not Faemir, but
that's awesome. I'll tell you what.
Faemir.
If we ever do the Monday Night Wars, I'll cosplay as.
You can't cosplay as Stone Cold. You can cosplay as The Rock if you want to cosplay or Triple H.
Dude, I'm too. I have
time to play the game. I can see you doing that.
I have Triple H's nose, but I'm too white to be The Rock. I'm just saying. I'll come out here. Oh, maybe I could do Ric Flair. I'll put on a fancy belt and just wear a belt, and I'll be half drunk and banging 3 chicks at the time. That's totally Ric Flair, right? Be cutting promos so hard I'll cut my mouth open just talking because the guy
can't do the human helicopter on the show. I'm sorry, we're not doing that.
No,
he came out of the bathroom on the plane, and he was in nothing but his robe.
Bret Hart.
Helicopter.
I could do Bret Hart. What am I supposed to do? Take my belt and go home? I'm not doing that. They screwed me, the lousy bastards.
Take my belt and go home. I'm gonna take my belt and go home.
Yeah. If you guys ever never saw the Bret Hart, sorry, I know we went a little off topic here. There's a Bret Hart documentary called Wrestling with Shadows, and it's all about the build up towards, the infamous Montreal screw job. And I got to tell you, man, when Bret's wife was in the hallway giving an earful to Triple H and the other guy standing there, like, Triple H is a fully grown man by this point. He's like, 25, 26 years old, towering over this woman. And she's just looking up at him, and he's like, I didn't know anything. I swear to God. And she said,
the only wrestler that knew was Shawn Michaels. That's that. And he's admitted that.
Yeah.
He's admitted that. And what I loved about all of that was that, and you never see this, was Taker comes in and talks to Bret, and he's like, what the hell just happened out there? And Bret said it, and he goes, and Taker goes, where's Vince? And he's like in his office, I guess, right? Taker leaves, and it's like 30 minutes later is when McMahon shows up.
Yeah.
And he takes the punch and gets punched and takes the punch. Yeah. Do you know why that happened? It's one of the things that almost no one's ever talked about. Taker went to Vince and said, you're going to go down there and you're going to take whatever he's going to give you. And you're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. Whether he hits you, beats your ass, whatever he does, you're going to take it. And you're not going to sue him. You're not going to fuck with him. You're not going to do anything. If you do not go down there and do what I am telling you to do, I will leave and go to work for your competition. And so will everyone else, because everyone in that locker room is going to follow me out the fucking door. And Vince said, okay. Well, no one, not Hogan, not Brett, not Sean, not nobody else could have done that besides The Undertaker. Yep. You're going to get me talking about wrestling here. You've already done that. I know. That is the most like, no one ever did that to Vince. No one ever walked in and was like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go down there and you're going to get your ass whooped. You're going to take it, and you're not going to sue him, and you're not going to bitch about it. You're going to go down there and you're going to deal with this. And you're not going to hide up here like a little bitch. If you don't do what I'm telling you to do, I'm leaving. I'm gone. Goodbye. God, imagine how that would have went. But I mean, that's why Mark Calloway is who he is, man. One and only, absolute one and only. But the point I was gonna make was when Brett's wife was sitting there looking up at Triple H, he's like, I didn't know anything, I swear to God. He's like, you swear to God all you want, but one day God's gonna strike you down. Man, the look of utter childhood defeat on Hunter's face when that was happening, like he was getting parent lectured and getting put right in his place. Holy crap. So Sean and Triple H were click, right? So it is possible that Sean said something to Hunter. It is possible, yeah. But Vince didn't, and nobody else did, because it was a very like, we're the only ones that know, and if anybody outside this room talks, we're gonna know. It was a very small circuit. Is it possible that he knew? It's possible, but I doubt it. I don't think Sean wanted him to know. I really don't, because I mean, because Sean knew, McMahon knew, obviously. Referee Earl Hebner knew, even though he already told Brett that I won't do this to you. No, because Brett had a feeling something was going to go down. Well, he got told you do it or you're gone. Yeah, and Earl said, no, don't worry, I would never do you wrong, I swear, blah, 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 blah. And Earl Hebner totally went along with it and shit like that. But I do apologize. We went completely off topic there, but hey, that's what happens. No, we'll get into this. We will. All we were doing is talking about we had just planned on doing all of this and starting with Sean and Vince and how this made Vince the bad guy. Okay. Before Stone Cold went after Vince McMahon, it was Shawn Michaels and Vince in real life. And that's what inspired them to do this evil boss, Vince McMahon. And we were going to go over this. Now I just want to take $1 billion crap. So yeah, we were going to go ahead with that. And then a certain event took place several weeks ago and thought maybe this might be in poor taste right now. Are you talking about I'm gonna take a Rudy Pooty? Yeah, God help me. Steaming stinking pile of monkey crap. God, rumors going around that Brock Lesnar's coming back now. How crazy is that shit? He got cleared of everything, so he probably did. No, I just found it funny through the whole thing that while Brock Lesnar was referenced, he was never mentioned by name. And I was always thinking, well, he's got money. Why doesn't he just get a good lawyer and get the lawyer to say, I didn't do shit. Like if he is 100% innocent in this whole thing, why didn't he just get the lawyer to come out and say, guys, I didn't do a goddamn thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Unless they purposely told him to stay quiet. I have no idea, but yeah. Let's get ready to suck it. Woo! Could we do the crotch chop on the air, or is that going to get us in shit? Like, oh my God. So I do promise we will come back to that in full session form. We went a little off topic today, but that's what happens sometimes. So, hey, props to Godzilla Minus One for showing them how it's done on a cheap ass budget.
Holy shit. And getting awarded
dedication,
passion,
loving what you do, having it all planned out. You know, Loki, there's no need for storytelling and the craft anymore. We're just gonna throw some shit up on a whiteboard and go from there. Let me explain something to you. And I want to get really specific here because I was thinking about this the other night. How many of you watched the making of Thor? I'm talking about the original Thor that Paramount did, not Disney. It's Paramount and Marvel with Chris Hemsworth. The original movie. Go back and watch the making of that. And watch, there's a scene where Anthony Hopkins, there's two scenes. One is Anthony Hopkins and Tom Hiddleston. When Loki confronts Odin, okay, they spent like almost a whole day on this 2 minutes of movie, okay, because they got all these different angles, they got all these different ways of them yelling at each other, they got all these different the way they're saying things, and they did the exact same thing. The director did the exact same thing with Thor and Odin when Odin strips Thor of all his powers, right? When they're arguing and he takes all his powers away and banishes him from Asgard. They spent a whole day on these two 2-minute segments. Why? Because the director said, I wanted to make sure every possible base was covered so that I don't have to do reshoots. I don't have to call Anthony Hopkins back in because that's going to be very expensive and very time consuming for him.
Hello, Thor.
I don't want to anger the great Anthony Hopkins, and I don't want to have Paramount having to pay to bring him back in. So we spent all day doing these different versions of this same scene. Okay, can you say it like this instead? Can you say it like that instead? And then after the movie's done, we went in and we're like, okay, what's the best emotional version of this that we can have? And they did that. Instead of having to call them in, instead of going, oh, we'll just fix it in post. They did that.
Yeah.
And they spent their money wisely and they spent their time wisely. That is exactly what the guys over at Godzilla Minus One did. They spent their money wisely. They spent their time wisely. And when they said, will you do this for this much money? They all huddled together and said, we want our own chef in-house at all time. Can you do that? And the heads of Toho went, yes, we will. We will. As long as you'll do it for this amount of money, we'll set you up with a 24-hour chef. We'll have one guy do half the day, another guy do the other half the day. That way, whoever's up working on the movie, no matter what day of time at night, we've got your chef ready to make you whatever you want it. And they said, okay.
Yeah.
That is
how cool is that? I mean, come on.
That is the difference between what was happening then when they made Thor and what's happening now when Marvel's making this shit and they're giving you shit and the special effects looks like shit and they've got all this money. They've got all the money in the world to pay for this stuff. We'll just give you more money. We'll give you more money. We'll give you more money. We'll give you more money. It doesn't matter how much money you give them.
Yeah.
If there's not enough base there.
That would be like a rich parent just spoiling their children, just taking the handout because they don't, it's like, oh, it's nice to be, gifted all this shit, but we don't know what to do with it. Well, oh, we screwed up on this. Can we have a little bit more to, yeah, sure. Okay. But I mean, man, if the brainiacs take the money, and I call them brainiacs respectfully, when the brainiacs take the money, they have goals with it. They have an agenda. They know exactly what they want to do with it. If they've got to compromise somewhere down the line, so be it. They know how to budget that as well. When you're just working for rainmakers, it don't matter. You can do whatever the hell you want to do because they'll just keep feeding you the dollar bills. It doesn't matter.
And here's the thing. This is what they understood with this. When you're making ceramics, when you're crafting, okay, you can use all the glaze and cover on something that you want. If it's a piece of shit, it's still going to be a piece of shit. It doesn't matter how much glaze and shine you put on that motherfucker. A turd's a turd.
Yeah.
If you craft that with love and care and time, and it's a fucking beautiful vase before you ever put that ceramic coating on it, before you ever put that shine on it, all the shine does is make it look better. And that's what VFX is supposed to do. That's what your visual effects studio is supposed to be there for, is to put that shine and the gleam on the work that you've already done. Do you know how many extras they took? You know how much they cut out of the movie of Godzilla Minus One? Nothing.
God.
Nothing.
I mean, that's
nothing was
crazy.
cut. You know why nothing was cut? Because he knew exactly what he wanted. He said, the only thing I wish I could have done, which was after the fact, it was after he was done, and he couldn't go back and do it, was he said, when he lands on the island at the very beginning of the movie, there's this scene I wanted them to have where they're celebrating the fact that he doesn't have to go out and kill himself. He doesn't have to go out and be a kamikaze pilot. And all the mechanics would be like, you made it. You made it. You're here. Congratulations. You made it. The war's over. You don't have to go out and do this anymore. And he said, I wish I'd have put that in there. But it was after the fact and he couldn't call everybody back in and do it. That's the only thing he would change. But everything else that he wrote out, everything's in the movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Fucking incredible. You know, from start to finish.
Yeah. And I mean, when you storyboard things like that, it'd be like it's like anything. When you make a film, the whole process, when you write a novel, you know, I mean, God, I remember, you know, writing short stories in grade school, and our teachers would always say, you know, you're always going to have things that are left over, things you should have done. And I mean, you look at everybody's, you know, drafts, they've got, you know, paragraphs here, then arrows pointing down to new paragraphs, you know, written in the margin and shit, because everybody is constantly brainstorming what is going to happen and when, you know. And an example of that is, you know, what Loki was just explaining. It's like, you know, you can end your movie with finality, but the brain is still going. And it's like, oh, I could have done this. I could have done this, you know? So, I mean, it's the creative genius that just kind of keeps that thing going. Because the movie, even if you end it with finality, a creative person's always going to be thinking, well, I won't call the movie complete. I'll just call it abandoned, because I don't have the time, the budget, or the personnel to go back and do all this shit again. You know,
are they going to stream Godzilla Minus One? Yes, they are. It will be on streaming services. It will be on like Vudu. It's not Vudu anymore. It's going to be like Fandango at home, something. I can't believe they're changing the name of Vudu. I've got so many movies on Vudu from just getting like the free shit at Walmart, where you're like, oh, you know, as soon as you buy the movie, it's like, oh, this is your account. Okay, here's your movie.
Yeah.
They are going to, but here's the big question is, he doesn't know if Toho is going to do a 4K release. He said, I imagine we're going to get the movie, the black and white, all of that in a package. And then you're going to have just your basic movie release. But he said, I don't know if it's going to be in 4K or not, because that's up to Toho. So this was oh my God, Yamazaki. Jesus, I sound like I'm like starting a bike. Yama.
Oh God.
Yamazaki talking to Collider of all people. But he said that's all up to Toho. That's all up to Toho. What exactly kind of package you're going to get is going to be completely up to them.
Yeah.
So they're going to make you wait too. They are going to make you wait. I've got my -1 minus color figure, the one that sold out in like 2 days. I've got that. I've got the other one. So I've got the color version, and then I've got the black and white version. So 4K or bust. I've got a couple of 4K players. Honestly, the best thing I think 4K compared to now that I can see properly again. And I've got my glasses.
See, it's a miracle.
So, just so, yeah, because there we go.
All right. Now he's working for IT
now because I can't see I can't see the screen. So everything's blurry because I'm that close. But long range, when I'm driving or whatever, there you go. But they obviously lasered out my eye on Friday or on Saturday. And nerd. That's right.
Nerd. We're all nerds. Everyone in chat, you
I made it.
Nerd-like qualities. Yeah. So
I was blind for a little bit, but now I can see.
Oh, I felt the song coming on there. Not by me. I thought Loki was going to break into another song and dance for us.
So Machini's up next. We're going to send you guys over there. Thank you so much for being here while we talk about Godzilla and some wrestling.
We'll get to that later on. I do apologize for going off the rails like we always do, but hey, so round of applause for Godzilla Minus One for picking it up. Self high five.
Goddamn time.
A little
goddamn time.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. Guys, we're going to send you over to Machini. Please take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We might do a game stream later tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Absolutely loving it. Have a great one, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.